Hey guys, and welcome back. Here is more Dustfire 14 for you, and in today's video, Booker and myself basically discuss a review that we both read in the PlayStation magazine by some dude, I think his name's Brutus or some whatever. Basically our disagreements with his review and our partial agreements with it. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Booker, take it away.
Oh, well, hi there. My name's Booker the Fooker. I am part of one of the initial original members of Seraphim Initiative, and it's my pleasure to talk to you today with young Bam.
Oh, thank you, Booker, thank you. Booker, you and I were talking earlier on today, and you mentioned that some of the reviews from various people, PlayStation Magazine, IGN, GameSpot, were all wrong for the wrong reasons. Could you please elaborate on that, dude? Because, you know...
They were kind of right for the wrong reasons. I can't argue too much with the scores they were given. I mean, they're all ranging around about the 6s and the 7s. 6s being more like it. But they're so... Dust doesn't lend itself to a quick, 2-day, play it for 2 days and make a review of it.
No, you're right, it doesn't. You've got to sort of spend the time into the game to actually appreciate everything about it.
Yeah. I mean, if you spend 2 days, you're going to get pub stomped. You're in rubbish gear. You're not earning enough SP to put into anything decent, and you're not going to get a good impression of the game. So it's kind of weird in that the review scores, for what we know of the game, because we know it's an unfinished game, pretty much. Is the fact that that they're scoring it because they think it's a finished game, and when they play it, they see lots of deficits because they're thinking it in terms of a finished game, but in fact it's not even half done.
No,
and
I agree. I agree. I agree.
I think a point I've made to you before is that if they actually knew the stuff that was missing was wrong with the game that we know about, they probably would have scored even lower, because it would just been, well, why on earth are you giving me a game to review that hasn't got half the stuff it's supposed to have as a finished article?
You're obviously talking about the racial suits, the racial vehicles, and racial weapons, stuff like that, yes?
Yeah, and game modes.
And game modes, yeah. They need to switch the map sets up, man, because the maps are becoming a bit... a bit mundane. But enough of that. The PlayStation Magazine guy, Ronald Reagan or whatever his name is, I don't really know. Rupert.
I think it was Rob Pearson. Yeah.
I'm going to call him Rupert just for the shit of it. You were saying that he's... well, the conversation we had before we even did this recording is that how can he sort of rate a game when all he did was skill himself into a sniper rifle, and then bleat and moan and whinge that when he shot someone, it only took down half a shield or something. What else did he say?
Well, he did. What he did is he's just a console player. He's basically looking to go into a shooter and own or be competitive immediately.
He's trying to play the cards.
You're not going to do that, Gus, because there's too many veterans around. Even in Academy, there's people with enough SP that will make a new player mincemeat fairly quickly. He did what so many new players do, is that they go, right, I'll go for the sniper fit because I can go into the red line, or I could be a long way away from people who kill me, and I can try and kill people. And so he probably, as part of his review, thought he'd try out what the Aurum equipment is all about. And then as soon as he'd managed to work up enough skill points to get this, be able to use this Aurum sniper rifle, and it must have been a low Aurum item, and he's moaning because it didn't one-shot kill everybody. Well, that's because the people you're shooting at have put SP into armour plates, me old fruit, more than likely, and that's why you're not killing them. But he doesn't get that at all. It doesn't get that concept.
No, I don't think he does. Didn't he also go on to saying that it's ridiculous, the fact that when you die you lose your kit? That's the whole point of Dust. Manage your resources, manage your skills. Ugh.
I enjoy reading my PlayStation magazine every month, but I nearly dropped the kick this one out the window. The guy actually said it's CCP's ridiculous design choice that means equipment is perishable, and that if you've even already bought it, when you die, you lose it. Well, yes, that's the whole freaking point, you donut. Honestly, I was tearing the hair out. You know, he has. Why would you say such a thing? He's not had a brief. Nobody's told him anything about this game. He literally understands nothing. The weird thing is, he's kind of come up with a correct score, 6 out of 10. I wouldn't necessarily disagree with him, but that's because you're playing with half a game.
Yes.
What we've got is CCP had a really important date in mind, 514, tied in with numbers, everything they were doing. But to do that, they had to release a beta game. They had to put a beta game into full release, and of course now the reviews are coming out, and they're reviewing a finished game, but it's not a finished game.
No,
so you're getting these low scores. And to be honest, if they knew what was wrong with it and all the things that were missing, they would give it lower scores. It's only their own ignorance
to be
that
fair,
saved these scores as there is.
Yeah.
I mean,
To be fair, I agree with that.
Again, yeah. And then, you've got the IGN. I'll pick out another item out of there. He's talking about the Aurum. I mean, they do focus a lot on the Aurum stuff because everybody gets in a tiz about pay to win and all that.
The pay to win side, yeah.
This guy, he says that every item has a real money counterpart that can be used by anyone, free of skill requirements.
No, you've got to skill into the rifle. You can only use Aurum gear one level above the current level you're at. That's how it works.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So an advanced heavy
again,
can run a proto heavy machine gun.
I can't see how this guy could even have used that system and come up with that statement, because if he'd bought anything Aurum, he would have known he would have had to have had... Okay, at the very bottom, there are some Aurum equipment at the very first level that you can use without any skill requirement. That's the whole point. It's on the gets you started.
Yes.
But as soon as you get above that level, you've still got to have some skill points to buy the next level of Aurum equipment. So this guy, the IGN guy, has clearly not done that. Otherwise, he wouldn't have made that statement. So how can you review? How can you accurately even review a game, even though you have accidentally probably given it around about the right score, 5.8, 6?
The whole, again, I'm going back to the whole reason why we started this conversation, and why I'm putting it up onto YouTube is that the reviewers haven't really got stuck in, and the small glimpse that they have had of Dustbar 14 is, getting beasted on the pub stomping, which is going to happen. You run with shitty gear, you run with the Aurum sniper rifle, which you don't know much about, you don't know how the menu screens work, which can be a bit frustrating. I do appreciate that. The menus in this game are frustrating, but once you figured it out, it's okay. But this is where they need to have PvE, so that people can learn this stuff, and for them to sort of score the game and review this game as a full release game and score it in that sort of direction because of the lack of their knowledge is just preposterous. They don't know the game as well as they should to score it in like that direction.
No, but because of some of the decisions that CCP have made, i.e. the release as it is at the moment, without any PvE elements whatsoever, even if it was just a training mode that gave people a chance to shoot at drones or whatever in a complete training mode, it's something that gave people something to get their teeth in to start with. I think it's a massive issue for EVE. I know people want the PvP, and that's fine, we love it, but there's an awful lot of love for the PvE out there, and I think it would make it much more user-friendly for a new player base. And I think CCP needs to really get that prioritised. I think it should be quite important to get these new players in, but I don't think that's a major issue for them right now, because they don't want the numbers in right now, because this is a beta.
Yes,
this is
I
PlayStation
agree.
3 beta.
I agree. Going back to our conspiracy theory, Booker, this PlayStation 3 version is the beta. Once they fixed all the little niggles and nags and all the nonsense, they're going to do a massive release on the PlayStation 4. That is the conspiracy theory. that you've told me, and I totally agree with. You know, Watch This Space is going to be a full release on the PS4, and it's going to be an absolute beast. You know, this game will demolish Pay to Win Side, and if you don't know what Pay to Win Side is, that's PlanetSide 2 or PlanetSide whatever. You know, that the people that review this game annoy me sometimes because, you know, they, as you said, instant gratification. You know, they want that COD 12 sort of insta-scope bang, and they want the sort of the graphics and gameplay of Battlefield 3 and stuff, but this game isn't there yet. It's not on the level because, as again, you know, back to the conspiracy theory, it's not ready yet, you know. And people say, oh, why bother playing? Why play this? Why play that? You can play this instead. I said, well, one is because the community, and I keep banging on about the community. Some of the Dust players on this, I tell you what, are some of the best people I've ever met, and you know that's going across all three sort of FPS I played: COD, Battlefield, and this. You know, the humour.
Yeah, no, absolutely agree. Yeah,
it's quality. The community is brilliant. Yeah, there's the odd arsehole, which you know every FPS has, but you can sort of ignore him or mute him. You know, so.
Mate, this is the world of New Eden. This is the home of the troll. So,
yes,
yeah,
exactly.
We're going to get these people all over the place.
Yeah.
But it's good fun. I spent hours in core chat without touching a trigger sometimes. It's just have a laugh. The community's great. And it's difficult to score that. You know, again, these guys in the reviews, they're not spending hours in core chat. They're probably not even in a proper core. They certainly have never experienced planetary conquest.
Oh, no,
not
they
even
haven't.
mentioned in any of the reviews.
No, they haven't. No.
And that's where the real camaraderie comes in. That's when when it comes down to the wire and you're down to a couple of clones to keep your district, and it's by the skin of your teeth. And my God, the euphoria when you get back after a battle like that is fantastic. You won't find it anywhere else.
No, you won't. No, you won't.
You know, as the long-term players, we're not currently playing it for amazing graphics, and you know that some of the shooter mechanics are shoddy. We kind of put up with it at the moment because
that
like
is an
death.
understatement.
But you know that's where the game deserves its 6 and 7 scores. But
Yes.
when you take in the meta game and the community, it's worth more than that. It's worth more than that. But when the rest of the world sees, hopefully, what CCP has got under the bonnet that makes an appearance on a platform of the future, then hopefully what we're saying here will get vindicated.
Oh, definitely.
Anyway.
Well, again, you know, I said I was going to mention this earlier on before we even started this conversation, is that the Dust devs are working. They did a cracking job in Uprising 1.2. They fixed the trolling lab or the murder taxi. They did that in today's update. So now you have no more trolling labs unless you have to pay for it. So every time you lose one,
well, I don't know
that's
how
money out of your back burner.
I haven't been in. I haven't been in there yet, so we'll see if people are still willing to pay for money to get destroyed while they're running people over. But
My Forge Gun's going to come out and destroy them.
yeah, that'll be really nice to know that it's costing them money every time they do that. Will be a really cool
and
thing.
they won't just leave them lying on the battlefield anymore. They'll actually try and recall them as well. So yeah,
And do you hear that, Mr. PlayStation Magazine guy? It'll cost them bloody money to lose it. That's the whole freaking point. Jesus, good God alive.
His name is Rupert.
Honestly.
We've established this. We're going to call him Rupert.
Rupert the donut.
Oh, I'm just going to call him RD. Rupert the donut. Lovely. Quality.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Alright, well, Booker, if you had to give the
hopefully.
game a score, Booker, I'm sorry I'm going to cut you off, mate. I'm sorry, but if you had to
No,
give
yeah.
the game a score out of 10, what would you score it and why?
Well, I probably would squeeze it up to a 7 simply because of the community and the depth, which is the reason why we play the game. We love trying to sort out the drop suits and the vehicles and micromanaging our money and our aura and whatever. That makes it worth a 7 for me. But you know what drags it down is what the reviewers are scoring it on is the shonky shooting mechanics, graphics which aren't up to AAA standards at this stage of PlayStation's life. Those things, they do drag it down, and you can't score it any more than that. You're not being realistic if you do that. What gives it a higher score for me is the meta game, the community, and,
again.
and the depth,
Again.
the complexity.
Yes, and to be honest, I'd scored a 7.5. If I had to sort of go up there, I'd really be pushing a 7.5. And the things that do bring it down for me personally, the biggest pain in the ass for me is the gunplay. Okay, it is wooden. It's archaic, but with all the problems it has, there are just enough pros. You know, the community again. I bang on about the community. It's the community that's sound. It's the metagame as you keep going on about. It's the actual, you're in a corporation and you leave an NPC corp to join a proper corp, and then you're in with the corp's ethos, your friends, your mate, and you just go around half hammered, which I'm 9 times out of 10, and you go and you just go murk people. 9 times out of 10 you lose, but hey, it's part of the game, and you have a cracking time with your mates. You know, and that's probably what gives me a 7 out of 10. You know, so once it releases on PS4. Watch this space, conspiracy theory and all that jazz. It'll kick pay to win side's ass broken, because, you know, it has the EVE connection, and they will and they have to sort of make this more important for the EVE players for this game to sort of...
well, I'm just saying, until they make PC, Planetary Conquest and Faction Warfare super important to Capsuleer's EVE pilots, till they make it, you know, something that makes them lots and lots of ISK, or really much about with their industry or sovereignty of systems, then half the reason why people look into Dust is not there. And it's a pretty slim link there at the moment. They've really got to ramp that up.
Yeah, I agree. You know, you want to build a Titan, you need these resources. These planets have the resources. You then hire mercs to go and capture the bases and hold the actual planet until you get the resources out, and you pay the merc pilots for that. You know,
I mean, you know, maybe you make it possible for the Dust mercs to actually industrialise and mine the districts they're in, the planets they own, and then obviously they can do not little with that. They need to pass them on to EVE pilots, who then manufacture all the stuff you need. So everybody needs everybody else.
Yes, and then if you want a forge gun, you've got to speak to an EVE pilot who will then make you a forge gun, and then he gives you a forge gun. You know, instead of just going to the shitty little market we've got now, where you can't sell anything. Make me a market where I can sell stuff. Yeah, all right. Make me a market.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Yes, please.
That's the next thing you got to fix. Right, Dust.
Absolutely,
all right.
Yeah. It's a long list.
It's a long list.
Okay, well, thank you very much for talking with me, Bam. It's been really great having this conversation. This is Booker the Fooker from Seraphim Initiative, and I'll be in your reticule near you sometime soon.
Awesome. All right, Booker. Well, thanks, dude. Cheers.
What you want?